What's up, YouTube? Got another video for you today. This is another modification I've done. As you can see in front of you, I got another resilience, of course. This is what she looks like, 9.5 inches. Pretty much bone stock resilience. I just happened to kick this one up recently for, well, I traded some tools to a fellow worker. He had this new in a box, so I was able to pick this up for pretty much nothing. So there you go. This also used to be a resilience. I did another resilience earlier. I did that for Ergonomics, and there was issues with that one. It was the tolerances were all off. Where there was, he experimented with acid treatment on that knife or whatever, and a lot of metal was taken from all over, so it didn't lock up right. Everything was screwed up. Sent it to me. Did it. Said, do what you want with it. You know, I don't care if you ruin it or whatever. It'll give you a good chance to practice and play around with, you know, doing modifications or whatever. Well, you guys, I posted the video up on that one. I sent it back to him. He was very happy. Totally different resilience. Bunch of stuff was done. A whole inch was taken off this knife. This one right here, totally different resilience there. And that's what she looks like. If you remember, the first initial resilience just pretty much kept its basic shape, except it was more tapered off the bottom of the edge. Gave it a super streamlined, kind of like a shark, like a sand shark type of look to the blade. This is pretty much a snub nose resilience. That's pretty much the only term I could really come up with. Even though initially looking at this, there's definitely a change in the blade. But there's a lot more changes done to the handle just by looking at this. Basically, one of my problems with the resilience has always been the fact that this thumb ramp here that has the jimping, and with the resilience, tenacious, and all the other, all those in the series, it has a tendency. The ramp comes down and it abruptly stops and kind of buries itself into the handle. So it curves nicely, stops here, and then you have the arch of the handle right there. And it still functions fine, but if you really squeeze on it and you want to be really critical on the knife, it creates a hot spot there. Not really too much to worry about, but you know, to me, it bothered me, and I figured I could make it better. I had enough room to play with to make it better, so I did. So as you can see here, this guy drops down, ramps down in here, and that is no longer the case. As you can see, it smooth transition into the handle. Quite a bit of metal was taken off from here all the way up to right here, about 1.25 inches or so, to accommodate that. There is a stop pin right here, so I was only able to take so much, so it's kind of like I had to find that little sweet spot. That way I can still continue this transition, smooth transition in here, but I couldn't go too crazy because I had to leave enough metal for that standoff to be strong and functional and to do what it needs to do. So that's what it ended up with. So, of course, off the bat, you can tell acid treatment on the blade, acid treatment on the liner, as you can see, added jimping right here. This is actually, I didn't do what I usually do, is kind of set back the scales and let the jimping hang up. I kind of did the jimping and actually scored and continued the jimping throughout the scale so you can really feel it. If you look at it towards the side, you don't even see it, but it's there. Basically, because of the pattern on the scale that I chose for, it kind of hides it. Along the back, continues on. There is a back spacer, as you can see there. So, in the back, big changes there also. We went ahead and, like I said, it took a 1/2 inch off this knife. It took about, I'd say, a little less than 1/4 inch here, and then the majority of it there. So, as you can see, there is a big difference. That screw, it's right here. I pretty much eliminated this screw altogether, which caused this to taper back, and it gave me the shape. And basically, I wanted to change this area too, because I wanted to really trim the entire knife down and make it look longer than what it is, make it streamlined, sleek, or whatever. And I really wanted to take more off the blade more off the handle to make the blade look nice and wide, and there be a big distinction. As you can see, the blade looks really wide in comparison to the handle, especially with what I took off here. This is right here is about 3/4 inch at the narrowest part right there, so that kind of really, I actually was able to achieve that look doing that way. So Like I said, back spacer, trimmed off the end over here, trimmed off right here quite a bit. As you can see over here, the liner lock or whatever, I actually took off a little less, probably about maybe, I don't know, I took off quite a bit. I had to add all this jimping you see to this liner lock so it had jimping, to give you an idea. So I probably took about a little bit more than 1/8 of an inch, maybe 3/16 off here, created this high arch, which eliminated this little bit of a hot spot you get on the resilience here. Like I said, these hot spots are not bad. It just, you can notice them a little bit now. This thing has absolutely, this thing fits like a glove, and I'll show you that in a minute there. So I then went ahead and added an additional arch up here. Get her to focus in again, as you can see. And on top of that, we added some jimping on the bottom. All this jimping is relaxed. I went over as usual, sanded it down, Scotch-Brite wheel, made it nice and smooth, so when you squeeze it, get a good tight purchase on there, it does what it needs to do, but with a relaxed grip or whatever, it doesn't cut into you. So it's pretty much right then and there, just pretty much all around comfortable. On the back side, went ahead and swapped out the Spyderco pocket clip and added this pocket clip here. This is actually red and black G10, 1x1 is what they call it, so that you can barely see little tints of red when on the milled areas of this pocket clip. This back spacer is also the same, that red and black. And basically just went with this little kind of like a key pattern and continued the pattern off the handle into the pocket clip there. So it kind of brought it together there. So that's what she looks like. As far as fitting like a glove, let me show you something, guys. See my thumb? If I lift it up, right? This thing is locked in place right here. I mean, you can squeeze it as hard as you want and you can't even dig for a hot spot. I mean, it's in there. Cool thing about it, you extend your fingers back a little bit, and even right here, reverse grip. This knife all around is very, 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 very comfortable. This is, like I said, you guys been following the videos, this is my second resilience I've done this to. I just didn't do a regular, just swapped out the scales. It really changed the overall design of it and everything. It's a good platform for me to work off of because I have a lot of area between the handle and the blade. It being 9.5 inches, I can do anything. I can go ahead and take 3 inches off of this knife if I wanted to. And I have plenty of room and plenty of steel to mess with, to do whatever I want to. So it's a really good platform to mess around with. I just happen to have another resilience handy, and it's one of the things I've been wanting to do. Even though you guys know I did the Tenacious, which is right here. Same thing with the handle scale, but totally different look. As you can see, I mean, even though similar things have been done to it, it's a totally different look. This blade looks narrow. The blade stock looks a lot narrower. It's not. It's the same thing. It's skinny. It's just that the fact that it being longer just creates overall different shape. On this tip right here, on this guy, it's more rounded and relaxed. It just flows in there. Where on this resilience, it's just abrupt. It just kinks down and boom, done. You can see. I don't know if you can see that. See, there's no grime marks or anything on there. Like I said, I really go over quite a bit to kind of eliminate all those grime marks. Oh, by the way, centering is pretty much dead on there. Lock up. Yeah, it's in the middle, 40-50% or so. I'm happy with that. Not too bad. That's exactly where the lockup was when I started. Lockup on your factory resilience. It's just a little bit less than that. So the lockup on this one is a little bit better. This guy is rock solid. No blade play left or right, up or down. Really nice. It deploys smoothly. No problem. No problem. It's just really just amazed me how smooth this ended up being. So anyway, guys, just wanted to update that for you. I'm just getting into doing more, modifying stuff. I've actually modified another knife that I'm going to do another video on. I think I'm going to post it a little bit later. Fixed blade, so I'll be happy to show that to you guys. Really cool. Just getting into doing this stuff, and it's a lot of fun for me to do it. Getting into, learning as I go along. I'm not, you know, I think I'm doing pretty good so far. I want to learn how to do more patterns and stuff like that, but I'm trying to stay away from what you normally see and try to come up with new stuff or newer ways of doing some of the stuff that you see out there. Nothing wrong with the original patterns I see out there. I just want to, I've got a whole bunch of little bits and stuff like that for my Dremel and stuff that I could use, or that I have to my disposal, and might as well see what the full capabilities of those guys are by trying these different handle scales and this and that or whatever. So anyway, guys, sorry about the long vid, just going over this thing. Just want to fully explain to you what I had going on there, and just giving you an update of what's going on over here. So anyway, guys, I appreciate all the support, all your comments and all that stuff. If you got any suggestions or anything like that, just post them below, PM me, whatever. If you think about anything, if you think about a knife that would look different, it would look cool if something was different, let me know, because I mean, I've got a gang of knives. I may already have it, or something I could change. I really, you know, I think changing scales and doing scale patterns are cool. I just like doing more. If I could change the handle and the blade and get into a little bit more in depth as far as customizing the knife, I'd rather do that, because it's just more challenging and a lot more fun overall. So anyway, guys, like I said, appreciate the support. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.